Magdziarz here from Winning International. Easily handle any objection you need to go through. I call the infinite loop. I can't put you in the program unless we deal with this. To back your services to change their life. Hey guys, Magdziarz here from Winning International, and in this video, you're gonna learn how to easily handle any objection that comes up when you're going through the sales process in your coaching business. We've been having tons and tons of people that we've been helping through with their objections recently, our high-end 7-figure coach clients and our sales leaders ourselves, and a lot of people have been messaging through, seeing our sales process publicly, but really wanting to understand the objection handling process. And so in this video, we're gonna debunk it. I'm gonna go through the 3 steps that you need to go through, I call the infinite loop, to be able to tackle any objection that comes up from an authentic, heart-centered space. But before I go into that, guys, I want to pre-frame one thing, that you would only ever go through this objection handling process with somebody who you know needs what you have to offer. It's so easy to allow this sales process to be overwhelming and emotional and inauthentic and out of integrity. But if you know that this is somebody who needs what you have to offer, then that's when you need to step up as a leader and come from the heart and give them the confidence that they need to take that next step and tackle that big area of their life that they're currently having an issue with. So only ever close somebody or go through this process if you know they need what you have to offer to solve that area of their life. So guys, if we can't get through this process, we're gonna find objection handling awkward. We're not gonna enjoy selling. It's gonna be difficult, it's gonna be overwhelming. You know, every time we go into a sales call, we're gonna know that by the end of the call, we've got to go through that kind of a little bit nervous, pretty much part to get them to try to say yes. And it's frustrating, it's annoying, it makes us hate selling, and it puts our conversion rate at a difference between 20% and 80%, so your whole business is a quarter of where it should be at because we haven't got this right. But in this video, when we learn these 3 principles, you're gonna come out the other side loving sales, because you're gonna understand that it's not about selling, it's about influencing, it's about changing lives, it's about helping them have a transformation on this call throughout this process. So I'm gonna be running down, let's get into those 3 principles right now. What we need to understand to be able to go through and use these 3 principles to get our clients to walk through the door and become a client, what we need to be able to do is we need to understand that when it comes to that point in the call where they say, look, this sounds awesome, I really want to do it, I'm really committed, but, and then they put forwards, I can't afford it, now's not the right time, I'm gonna do it, trust me, I'm gonna do it later today though, I need to think about it, I need to speak to my partner, I don't have the time. You know, all of those objections are merely your client saying, I'm scared. I want the result, I want the outcome, but I'm scared, okay? And the big problem that most people have is that they engage with that kind of little bit of a front that your clients or your potential clients put forwards as a blockage to talk about something that has nothing relevant to the fact that they're just scared. So we want to be actually handling that. So that's the premise behind this 3-step process. Step number 1 is to enforce the truth. So when you say to somebody, awesome, we know this program is going to be great, we'd love to have you in there, can't wait to get that outcome, but so far over the last couple of years you've been struggling in this area because you haven't been committed enough to step up. So are you willing to step up? Yes or no? Are you willing to take that leap of faith? Are you willing to, instead of operating down here, go up here? And they're like, yeah, I am. But, objection, we need to enforce the truth. So what that means is we need to take them through a process where we say, cool, I hear what you're saying, but what you're just telling me right now, and I'm only telling this because I care about you, is that you're giving me exact evidence of the fact that you're not committed. You're telling me you're committed, you're willing to change the way that you've been doing things, but then you're giving me evidence. You're saying, I'm committed, but actually I'm not committed. And what that's pretty much doing, that same thing that you said right there, and this is just me being honest with you, because I care about you and I know that if we don't get past this, we're not going to be able to get that outcome, is that you've been pretty much telling me right now that you're not committed, we need to move forwards from that. So I'm just telling you the truth, because unless we get that full commitment, we're not going to get the results. And I'll give you an example. Okay, so that's step 1, it's enforcing the truth. It's saying, look, I hear what you're saying, but it's actually got nothing to do with this. Here's what the real issue is. It's that you're afraid. And I'm just telling you the truth here because I know you can handle it, number 1. And number 2, if we don't get this right, we're not going to be able to get results in the program. I can't put you in the program unless we deal with this, okay? But the reason, you're just giving me exact evidence for the fact that you're not committed. You're telling me you're committed, and then you're giving me evidence that you're not really committed. And if we can't get to that point of real commitment, when nothing is a barrier to you getting that result, then we're not going to be able to get results in this program. That's step one, it's enforcing the truth. Step number two is to give evidence of the objection being nonsense. So it's to validate your initial call, which is pretty much telling them that they told you a bit of a white lie. Okay, and that's not what people want to hear, so you need to back it up with lots of love. But step number two, phase number two, when you're getting that next step closer to getting over the objection, you need to give them evidence and just prove to them that it is in fact fear. Okay, you need to give an example of somebody who you have worked with, or you know who has gone through that exact same situation that they're in, but 10 times worse, and then being able to find a way through. I'll give you guys an example. So we get past the first section, we say, cool, let me give you an example. You know, when we're going through this process, we've put people in our programs who have invested when they've been $100,000 in debt, like legitimately. And we've got them out of the shit, got them to a point where they've been making over $500,000 a year and thriving. But their commitment level was so high because they were willing to put themselves on the line. They were willing to go through that fear and commit fully. So if someone's telling me that they're not, they can't afford it, that's telling me they're not committed because they might have 5, 10, 20 grand in the bank or even be in 5K in debt. Okay, and unless they're properly committed, they're not going to get out of that situation. They're not going to be able to get results in the program. We know that. But so what we'll do is we'll go through in this story. We'll say, I'll give you an example. We just worked with somebody whose name is Maggie, or whoever it is. We've got lots of examples, at least 10 examples of people who have been in massive debt that we've helped get out of it. And we'll just run through the exact story of that person and give them evidence that that person was committed. That's why they got results. You're struggling for commitment, but I know you're better than that. And then unless you can raise that level of commitment, you're not going to be right for the program anyway. And that's okay, you're still an awesome person. That's the truth. Okay, so that's step two. We want to give evidence. We want to give a story that validates our initial assumption that it's about fear, not about whatever else was put forward, cast as a bit of bait to try to hook you in and engage with that. It's not about that, it's about fear. It's about lack of commitment. We need to make sure that we're concentrating on the issue at hand so we can tackle it and move on. So stage one, enforce the truth. Stage two, give evidence to the fact that that objection is in fact not true, and to validate your initial theory that it's fear and give a story around someone that's gone through a way worse situation and still made it work because they were so committed and got results with that. The third section is to empower them back up. You've just pretty much said, look, you weren't telling me the truth there, which is a big call. You're calling someone out, and a lot of people don't want to hear that. If you're an open heart-centered coach, it's not your job to put people down, it's to bring them back up, it's to empower them. So when you get to that third step, it's about letting them know, only if you truly believe it, that they do have what it takes, that they do have that amazing ability. Talking to them about how important and why you know that they can make this work. So you've said, cool, look, Maggie made it work, Wendy made it work, whoever made it work, and then say, but look, I know you've got what it takes. And just be honest, talk about all the things that have stood out for them. Build them up. Say, look, you stood out to me. I know this is important to you. I know you've got what it takes, but you do have to step up. But I can see it in you. I can see that outcome. I know how important it is to you, and I want you to step up. But the only thing I can't do for you is make that decision to commit 100%. That's the only thing I can't do. So if you're willing to step up, if you're willing to take that foot forwards, we can get the outcome, we can get those results, but you need to be. So I'm going to ask you the question one more time. Are you willing to step up? Yes or no? And if they say yes, awesome. You've opened the door, you can walk them through, and you've changed that person's life. Because these people have been going through that fear for years. And you won't believe it, but there's literally been people whose lives have changed just going through that process. Because they've been neglecting the truth. They've been putting off tackling what they need to change and going through that fear. And eventually I've got them to do it on that call. So that's the process, guys. Number one, enforce the truth. Number two, you need to make sure you give them evidence, give it a story of someone's been in a worse situation that stepped up. And number three, empower them back up. Make them realize that they do have what it takes, but that it's their call. They have to make that decision. It's okay if they don't, they're just not going to get the results, which is the truth. They've been playing down here for a reason, and history repeats itself. So you need to be able to show them the truth, but still give them the belief and make them realize that you believe in them, and then walk them through the door. If they say yes, awesome, but we know that there's still a chance that they'll say yes, but. So they'll say, yeah, no, trust me, I'm committed, I'm willing to step up, I'm willing to go over the fear, but And then they give you a second piece of evidence that they're scared still. And what do you have to do then? You need to go through the process again. That's why this is called the infinite loop, because it's about looping, and getting them over that fear, and not stopping until you show them that belief, until you give them those distinctions, until you've empowered them up enough to realize that they can make this happen. And then at that point, it's down to your ability to back your course to get them the results, to back your services to change their life. Because you can only do this if you're that confident in what you do. You know your promise. Like for us, we know we'll work with people until they hit 6 figures. We know our part to play in that. We know their part to play in it. We'll do whatever it takes to get them there. So guys, that's the process. What I want you guys to do right now is I want you to go below this video. I want you to scroll right down to the bottom. I want you to leave a comment. I want you to put down there, number one, your piece of feedback. How do you find this process? And number two, what do you need to change? Okay, if there was one thing that you need to change in your objection handling to give you more confidence, to give them more confidence, and to enjoy this process more while boosting your conversions and closing everybody with this process, what's the one thing that you need to change? One piece of feedback, one thing that you need to change. Go below, do that comment, guys. Love you guys, and can't wait to speak to you soon. Peace out.